practice as always. And he's already down on his back to get started, so we're going to join him. I'm going to invite you to start in an Ardha Shavasana, or half corpse pose. This is just half Shavasana with the knees bent. When I start on the back, I always like to start like this so I don't trick myself into thinking of at the end of the practice. Still a little bit of activation, but also able to sink in and let go. Take a moment and tune into yourself. Take a couple deep breaths. Whatever whirlwind of a week or a day you have had has led you to practice right now. Let's find some gratitude for that. There's always gratitude to be found when we can make it to our yoga mat. It is definitely like therapy, so right. My invitation today is to just find some inner peace. Physically, with the asanas and actual poses, I don't have a full plane in my mind. I'm going to let my body lead that. But my own personal practice today was just to find a little bit of inner peace because there's things changing and whirlwinding around that I still have no control over. I still can't do anything about, so it's that acceptance of the outside world that helps me find inner peace. And if that works for you, I'll invite you to set inner peace as somewhat of a manifestation or somewhat of an intention for practice tonight. And it's easier to find when we're in these really comfortable positions. It's just like so good when we're laying on the floor and tuning into the breath. It'll become harder when we start to work harder. So really commit to finding that inner peace while you're following the breath and relaxing your body here for a few moments in silence. Let your mind drift down to your belly. Let go of the outside and come inside, feeling the belly fill up on the inhales and fall down on your exhales. Gradually let your inhales and exhales just become longer. Deeper will happen automatically. You may have already found a way to tap into that inner peace. If you need a little bit of a mantra, which is just like repeating words in your mind, the one I used earlier was, I am at peace with myself. For just a couple more breaths, if that works for you, say it in your mind, breathe down to the belly. And then you start to rock your head from side to side while you're still focusing on those deep breaths. Tuning into the little massage at the back of the head. Relax the tension in the lower back. guiding your head back to the center. Bring your knees towards your chest. Slide your hands, palms face down underneath your sacrum and extend your feet up. Keep a bend in your knees and roll out your ankles a couple times in each direction. Just a really easy candlestick pose. We're not jetting right into activity. We'll warm up a bit first. And then pedal the legs out, but when you do, bend one knee deeply and then extend the other leg like crazy. Like push that heel up so a stretch goes into the back of the legs. And I got my movement so slow here that I am inhaling to straighten one leg and exhaling to straighten the other. Keep your feet flexed while you're doing this and spread your toes out super, super wide. And then bring that to a stop and take the soles of the feet together, knees out wide, and grab a hold of the feet. That reclined butterfly with just a gentle pull. Heels in towards belly button. Press your knees forward a lot. Like really press the knees towards the front of the mat and then wiggle your hips from side to side. Take the feet up into your happy baby and maybe rock that from side to side. And then we'll squeeze the left knee in and straighten your right leg out. Squeeze the left knee in tight. All the way down that left side body. Tuck your chin, peel your head, neck, shoulders up towards your nose. If you have space, reach down and grab for the bottom of your left foot and see if you can hold your knee to your nose and maybe hover that right foot up off your mat. And breathe. Use your next exhale, come down, right hand on left shin, left hand out long, come into a twist. Take that left leg over top of the right, gaze over left shoulder. And for a couple breaths, try to actively pull that left leg down to the floor a little bit so you're increasing the stretch in the outer left hip, maybe glute. Roll around onto your back again, switch legs. Hug the right knee and straighten the left one out. Flex the left toes towards your face and press that heel forwards. Squeeze the right knee in really tight. Head, neck, shoulders up. See if you can get your nose towards your knee. Reach down and grab a hold of the bottom of the right foot if you can. And squeeze, maybe lifting that left foot up off the mat. We're going to hold right there. Obviously the breath is a little bit constricted, but see if you can still take deep breaths, belly into thigh, thigh into belly. Okay, come into your twist. As you're coming down, left hand on right thigh, right arm out, gaze over right shoulder. Now I always kind of like pick up my left hip and shift it over towards the right, and then the back twist becomes a little more intense. If that's not good, don't do it. And of course, anything I suggest, you know you don't have to do it. It's just a suggestion, take it or leave it. I like to pull a little bit harder, press that right knee down, big stretch. Roll back onto your back, but keep the right knee in. Realign your hips in the middle of the mat. Take your hands behind your ears. Head, neck, shoulders up off your mat. Bring that left elbow over towards this teaching power and like yoga with weights and flow without music. It's getting into a kind of a neat vibe though doing it. And we'll stay with it. I can't wait to introduce music again, but we might do it sometimes for fun. Try to keep the breath really smooth. Two more lifts and lowers with that left leg if you can. Okay, now extend both legs up, head, neck, shoulders stays up off the floor. Flex the feet towards the face, little tiny pulses towards the feet. Spread your toes really wide. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to switch sides right away. Extend that right leg, right elbow to left knee, and then lift and lower right leg. Really squeeze and hold. Hopefully there's some sort of burning happening already. Breath is smooth. Kick that right heel as forward as you can so your right leg is really active and straight. Move with control. Two more lifts and lowers. Okay, head, neck, shoulders down on the floor, both feet up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower your feet 2 inches from the floor. Lift them back up. Lower them 2 inches from the floor. Lift them back up. I'm going to switch it up this time. Lower 2 inches from the floor. Hold 2 inches from the floor. Open your legs out, hovering. Bring them back together, then bring them back up. So we're really aiming at firing up lower core here. If it's too much on your lower back, bring your hands underneath your lower back, palms face down. Try to push your lower back, the arch of your lower back, into the floor while you're bringing your legs down and out and up. You can lift your head, neck, shoulders up off your mat and look at your feet if you want to. Two more. Last one. Hug your knees into your chest. Take a deep breath in and out. Oh yeah, and rock from side to side. Okay, I'm going to do some of my favorite core stuff before we come up. Take your left leg into a half-happy baby, extend right leg out. Take your right arm above your head and reach it backwards. And then reach all the way up, thread that right hand over top of the left thigh, and then reach it back up and again. So arm threads through, come back up. Okay, once you've got that, when you bring your arm up overhead, you can lift your right leg up. This one's super brain gym. This is actually just my favorite yoga with weights. Core move without the weights. Four more. Okay, switch sides right away. Right foot half away, left foot down, left arm up over, come through and up. Easier to get the hand motion going first, but you can also just keep your hand behind your head without moving your arm. I just like to add that little, you'll go with weights part. leg can lift and lower or stay still. And I've seen it that you straighten out this right leg instead of having it in half happy baby. I don't have the flexibility in my hamstrings, so I'm going to keep that leg bent. Oh, I think we're almost at about 4 more. Probably about 6 more actually. And of course I lost track of how many we're on, so last one. Hug your knees in, take a deep breath in and a sigh out. Let's let that go for a moment. Close your eyes down again and turn your awareness back inwards, especially if it was going all over the place while we were working on the core. Now the best way for you, make your way up to a seated position. Forward and back if you want to a couple of times. We're going to land with feet flat on the floor. Or like roll over to one side and then push your way up, of course. We're going to do cat-cow from here. Did I bring myself a little closer? Hands in behind or on top of shins. I like them on top of my shins, but I've seen lots of teachers do it behind the thighs, so you do you. Inhale, we'll just lift into that lovely cow spine. Exhale, we'll roll into cat. Let go of all of that core work. Yeah, seated, like cross-legged is better. You can go there too. Except for from here, we're going to go into boat pose. So we'll come up, lift those feet, interlace your hands like we were going to do like overhead. We're going to do Russian twists. Open your arms out really wide, and then twist over to that one side, dip, and then the other. Side to side, maybe adding the opposite leg, going outwards. Okay, now what differs our yoga from just any exercise is the breath and the awareness of the movement. So only move so fast that you can feel the movement and that you can keep your breath smooth. Smooth can mean really powerful ujjayi breaths. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, do the last one. Okay, feet together, knees out wide. Inhale and exhale, forward fold. Take a deep breath in through your nose and maybe a sigh out through your mouth. Take a quick moment and become still. Let the work go. Find that inner peace again. And really connect into really steady breathing. Keep your steady breathing and come on up onto your hands and your knees. I was so cold earlier, I sillily put on this sweater with no tank top underneath, so I'm just gonna sweat my butt off today. Okay, hands and knees, we gotta get into the wrists a little bit, so either from your tabletop, or if you wanna extend the feet backwards and do it from plank, you can do it from there. We're just gonna start to circle around and get into the wrists. Also hips a little bit if you're doing it from your tabletop. If you're doing it from plank, well, you're just doing a little bit more core work. Start to go a little tiny bit further forward every time you come forward to stretch out your wrists. Maybe a little bit further back every time. And then take that around the opposite way. And then come to center, walk your knees forward a little bit so you can sit your hips down on your heels, flip your palms up, and then put the backs of the hands on the mat. And then fold down into a closed knee child's pose and just rock that from side to side to get the opposite stretch in your neck, or not neck, wrists. Really rest your forehead heavily. Relax your jaw. Soften the tension in the face. I have recently caught myself really tightening my jaw, like clenching my teeth actually. Thank goodness I have a mindfulness practice, or else I probably wouldn't have caught it. So I really have to consciously soften my jaw all the time and make space in between the biting surfaces of the teeth. So if there's some space where you normally know that you hold tension, invite it to go away. Just go away for a while, finding that inner peace. Lots of people, it's shoulders. Maybe it's like squinting the eyes or furrowing your brow. Everyone has different spaces of tension. Okay, sit up slowly, tuck your toes under and come into a quick broken toe pose and just shake out the wrists. Both ways, like up and down and side to side. Okay, let's come into down dog. And a couple of blissful moments pedaling out your downward facing dog. Think about stretching your tailbone up and creating that huge upside down letter V. Come to stillness and down dog. Lift your right leg up. Lift your left heel as high as you can and lower it down a couple of times, lengthening out the back of that left leg. Look forward. Let's bring that right foot through. We're going to right away take the left knee into a hover. So usually we'll leave it up or down. We're going to go halfway and hover the left knee from the floor. Open your arms up into like an airplane pose and lift your chest up off your thigh. You can't see because my sweater is in the way, but I'm not leaning down. I've got my chest lifted. So it's as if I was in this really high runner's lunge, but I'm hovering my back knee to make it a little harder. And then hold right there and roll your shoulders like we were gonna gently roll the shoulders, but it's a lot more active. Yes, and you can also just come up into a crescent lunge and hold there. Smooth, deep breaths. We'll circle the shoulders in the opposite way. Now straighten out that left leg, take the left hand down and right arm up. And we'll come into a nice deep twist. We should be open enough for a deep twist. Walk your right foot over towards the right side of the mat a tiny little bit and try to get the right knee on top of your right ankle. Yes, there we go. Okay, now think about pulling the right hip backwards and the left hip forward so you're like scissoring action with your legs. And that should make you shake a little bit. And then slide the right shoulder down the back a little bit and shift your body weight forward so the left heel's over the left ball of the foot. Okay, now we'll hold there. Okay, we're going to take the right hand to the inside of the right leg, put the left knee on the mat, and then start to scooch these right toes forward, 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 until maybe you can get that right leg to straighten a tiny little bit. And like, no, I cannot even kind of close to do the splits, but that's where we'd be kind of going to warm up towards. And then rock from side to side, so you're getting a huge stretch in the legs. Okay, now super fun from here, maybe watch me do it first. This right foot's gonna go out, around, and back up into my three-legged down dog. So I'm gonna curl this left toe under, bring it all the way out, around, and up. Yeah! Okay, now bend that right knee and open your hip up as wide as you can. Press the shoulders backwards, bob your head up and down, take deep breaths. Look towards the top of the mat, that right foot stepping through again. This time we're keeping a straight back left leg and coming right up into full crescent lunge. Find that nice full crescent lunge. You've got the same scissoring action of like the hips squaring off, so the right hip coming backwards and the left hip coming forwards. We'll reach the arms up, and then we're gonna straighten this right leg and hinge as far forward as you can, trying to make a long line from the crown of the head to that back heel. Just like you would in this runner's lunge, but going towards straight legs. And that should be pretty darn hard to hold and breathe. Stay present, find that inner peace within all of the shaking. I don't know, I'm pretty shaky here. Okay, in a moment, we're gonna step the back foot forward and come into just like mountain with the arms up. Take a deep breath in, and exhale, step that foot up, look up, connect your hands, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. We're about to do our first chaturanga. Hands on the floor, feet back, slowly lowering through your chaturanga the best way that suits you, from your toes or those knees come down. Inhaling into your back bend. We're nice and warm. It can be baby cobra or up dog. And then head on up to your down dog. Pedal out a couple times in that down dog, sliding the shoulders down away from your ears. Any little wiggles you want to get in or out. When you're ready, the down dog finds some stillness and the left leg goes up. Hold that left leg up, point your toes, lift and lower the right heel as slowly as you can. So you're not just dropping it down, you're slowly lowering with tons of control. Look towards your hands and step that foot as quietly as you can through. Hover that right knee an inch from the floor. Try to keep it hovered. Lift your chest, open your arms up. So we're in like a bent kneed runner's lunge. And this time let's find cactus arms and bring the arms, hands together, and then open the palms up. So we're just finding a different exercise in the shoulders. Keep the breath smooth. Keep trying to pull the right hip forward, left hip back on there, and as soon as you do that, you should be doing it with so much strength that you can actually start to shake a lot. Yep. Let's do 3, 2. Last one. We're going to straighten this right leg out, right hand down, left arm up. Turn. So you're gonna walk this left foot over towards the left enough so that your knee is right over top of your ankle. Keep squeezing that right hip forward, left hip back. You even like lift your hips a little bit because you're squeezing the hips, scissoring action so much. Try to look up towards the left hand if you can. And reach out actively through the right, left fingertips and left arm. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then take that left hand to the inside of the left foot. Right knee down as far back as you can get it. Start to scooch that left foot forward. Bring it into a somewhat of a splits pose. Maybe a little rocky from side to side. fun transition. Right toes curl under, right knee lifts, and then scoop that left leg around, lift, bend your knee, and open your hip right up. Hold right there for a couple breaths. Really slow transition to bring that left foot to the top of the mat. Finding nice strong legs. Reach both arms up to Crescent Lunge. We're in that like regular, lovely Crescent Lunge at first. We're going to straighten that left leg and then start to hinge forward, finding a line from the crown of the head to that right heel. And breathe right there. Keep pulling the right hip back, left hip forward. A little wobbly. Full deep breaths. Okay, we're going to move on an inhale. Inhale first. Stay for your exhale. Move on your inhale, right foot forward, look up, connect palms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling back to that nice flat spine and exhaling through your vinyasa. Come to down dog. Take a couple of breaths. Take your time to get there. Let's lift the right leg up. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Round everything in and then hover and lift. And hover. Let's do it 4 more times. And then that right foot is going to step through. Ground that left foot up and open, come into a warrior 2. Option to hold warrior 2, or we're going to add hands in behind head. Crunch down, bring the right elbow to that right knee and come back up. Option to lift that right heel when you come down. And lower it when you come up. Another one of my favorite power things. Squeeze your shoulders backwards a little bit to keep your chest open. Yes. Especially that left one. When you come down, especially to bring that right elbow down to the right knee, lift that left shoulder like up and backwards. Yes. Okay, next time you come down, hold. Keep it as low as you can and then extend your arms outwards. Option to leave that right heel lifted or lowered. And then peel your left shoulder backwards and right shoulder forwards and hold there. For 3, 2, okay, 1, exalt. Left arm down, right arm up and back. If you want, you can straighten that right leg and get a big release. Take a breath in. Exhale, windmill your arms around, frame that front foot, step back, throwing maybe through, what are the words? 3-legged chaturanga. Come through your vinyasa at the speed that suits you right now. Steady your breathing in and out of your nose. Take an inhale, look forward. On your exhale, hop or step yourself to the top of your mat. You're going to pause in between sides to work on balance. You're going to lift your right leg up into the air. Open your hip. We're going to come into candy cane. If that's a big no-no, standing splits is fine too. Leave your left hand where it is. Bend this right knee. Try to grab a hold of your right foot. Also, half moon is perfect too. So if you've got that right foot, kick it backwards, open your chest up. If you've got really good balance, you could lift that left hand. I'm not going to do that. Just gets a really, really good stretch to that right quad. Hopefully back of left leg a little bit. So release this right leg. Take it down to meet the left, but feet hips distance apart. Grab a hold of your big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, lift your chest up, and exhale, forward fold. Take a moment to pedal at the legs. If you want, bend one knee then the other. Release your head and your neck and your shoulders. Let's do the other side of half moon right away. Lift your chest up, lengthen your spine, left leg up and back. And if you really don't do anything on this, that's totally fine. If you can, bend that knee, left knee really, really deeply. You can even bring your left knee down a little bit so it's easier to grab a hold of your ankle. Then kick your left leg up and back again. You're aiming to have a nice open chest, and your chest and shoulders and hips are parallel to the wall. And smooth, deep breaths in under the nose. When we're holding these definitely difficult poses, search for that inner peace, even though there's hopefully some shakiness, maybe a little sweaty. I'm just dying to drip sweat in the hot room. A few more steady breaths, kick that foot up and back. Release that left foot to the floor. Other hamstring stretch, just a little bit deeper, feet underneath the hands. Walk those toes right up to the wrists. Maybe wiggle out the feet a bit. Breathe steady. And when you release the palms this time, give them a little shake, because we're gonna try some crow pose. Okay, so if crow pose is like a big no, go for flying frog. And flying frog is with knees out wider instead of knees on top of triceps. So if your crow is part of your practice, just go ahead. If you're coming into that flying frog, bring your toes together and really open your knees out wide. So it's almost like you're in a malasana, flying malasana pose. And instead of getting your knees up on top of the backs of the triceps like crow, your knees stay outward of your elbows. Then you just lean forward like you would in a crow, and your toes can tip tap a little bit for like closer to the floor, because they're not as, you don't have to get them as high. Lift the chest a little bit. Think about getting like a tiny little bit of a back bend quality in your arm balances. And if you just kind of really slowly tip the weight forward instead of kicking the feet up off the floor, it's more upper body strength and core that ignites than just throwing the weight. And then when you're done fussing around with that, we're coming into malasana. So you can just kind of sink the hips down, lift the chest now, open up the knees with the elbows, hands into heart center. And we'll just find a few really deep breaths in and out through the nose. Let that pose go. Hands to the floor, hop, step, or however you want to get into your plank pose to flow through a chaturanga if you want one. We're meeting in down dog, however you want to get there. And my Zoom guys, please keep in mind any questions you want to ask about anything we're doing ever, because you can just always ask after practice or even post on the Facebook page. Okay, left leg up from that down dog. Bring your knee in towards your nose, round your spine, and then lower and lift. Lower and flatten your back, lift and round your spine. So you're getting a lovely little ab crunch too. 4, 3, 2, last one. Left foot forward. Drop that right foot, windmill up into that warrior 2. Set up the warrior two legs first, the way that's gonna best suit you. Hands in, right behind the ears, but not grabbing the head. Lower that left elbow, lift the left heel, and come back up. Keep opening the shoulders. Press the right elbow backwards especially. There should be like even a big stretch in that right shoulder and arm when you're coming down. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. Almost there for a hold. Although it's easier to move sometimes than hold. Next time you come down, hold, extend those arms out, left heel lifted or lowered, deep breaths. Release and exalt. Maybe straighten that left leg out. Just enjoy. Okay, we're going to use only the exhale to go through chaturanga, so inhale very deeply. Exhale to windmill your hands around, bring that left leg backwards, maybe it's lifted, and your exhale lowers you through. Next, inhale to your back bend. Following exhale, down dog. Walk your feet out super wide on your mat. So you've got lots of space and big stretch. We'll take that left hand towards somewhere on the right leg and come into your down dog twist. Maybe a little bit of a pull. Take another couple breaths. And then switch sides. Okay, from here, we're going to take the knees to the ground, both hip distance apart and the toes together, and just sit the hips all the way up. So my toes are together, and my knees are a little bit further apart. I'm going to squeeze my glutes and push my hips forward, and then take the right arm down towards this right heel, and lift the left arm up and back, so I'm in a half camel. If you can, look up past that left hand. And then for fun, try lifting and lowering your left foot up off your mat. It doesn't go very far. You should feel it in your quad, your hip, your hamstring. Woo! If you're doing that for 3, 2, 1. Sweep your left arm around, come all the way down so you've got a little bit of a round in the back, and then go to the opposite side. Press the hips forward, squeeze those glutes. Look up past the right hand if you can. And then maybe you're going to try and lift and lower that right foot. Ooh, that is a lot. If you're lifting and lowering that right foot for 3, 2, last one. Come all the way back up. And then just sit your hips back down on your heels if you can in hero. Close your eyes and flatten out the back from the seated position. Like just lifting the crown of the head up and dropping the hips down. Never want to go from like a really extreme back bend to a forward fold hold. And I want to hit this reset straight spine in between. Always want to counter the pose though, so we're going to crawl the hands forward and come into a quick child's pose and just rest the forehead down on the floor. And then you can really do that check-in now because we've been moving a lot so far. Got some core in. the legs, back work. We're just missing one thing. Gotta do some arms. That being said, you don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to join me, we're going to reach the arms forward and go through some child's pose push-ups. Of course, chaturangas, not actual push-ups. Pull forward, lower halfway down, and push up and back to child's pose. I'm going to suggest to do 10. You can stop at 5. You can do 15. Bear up your legs like these. And the slower you go, especially when you're lowering through your chaturanga and pushing back up through your chaturanga, the more work we're going to get in. I'm not counting. Surprise, surprise. We're probably at like, I don't know, 6, 7. Okay, I have 2 more with my really bad counting. On the last one, I'm gonna hover. You can join me. Maybe hover, maybe extend those legs and come into an actual chaturanga for 5, 4, 3, 2, lower down onto the belly. And just stack the hands, make a little pillow for your forehead. Breathe, let go. Tune into how fast your heart is beating. I can always feel and kind of hear the heartbeat as soon as I land on my belly. It's the place where I connect into my heartbeat the most. You almost feel it thumping on the floor. Just another couple breaths. And not a long hold, but just a quick broken wing pose. Extend your left arm out long. Take that right leg up and over. Bear. Come here, little buddy. And come into broken wing. I think you guys know broken wing. Bear, come on. Okay, to make this one more fun, you could reach back and grab a hold of that foot with your hand. Maybe kind of fall in and out, or if it doesn't work, don't do it. Make sure you're breathing. Slowly release and make your way over to the opposite side. If you like movement in between, of course, take it, but we're just going right over for that twist. This big back bend. Grabbed your foot on the other side, make sure you do it on this side too. With where your mind is floating away to. Keep it on the breath. When you're ready, slow release out of the pose. We're going to come back to a really quick child's pose of your choice, wide kneed or closed kneed, totally up to you. And find a little sway, very gentle, floaty, lazy sway. Try to loosen up the back a little bit. Reach your arms forward, come up onto your hands and your knees, flowing through a couple rounds of signature cat-cow, your favorite little movements through the spine. Very familiar postures. Inhaling, exhaling at the best speed for you. And then in the best way possible, we're coming down onto our backs. We're gonna come into, if you'd rather do legs with the wall, totally fine, but shoulder stand is where I'm wanting to go. If my little buddy would get off my mat here. Okay, he's gone. Okay. So if shoulder stand's a big no-no, don't do it. Elbows in tight. You can even give like a little bit of momentum to rock your hips up and then bring your hands behind your lower back. Walk them up, 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 up. You're aiming to get the shoulders right underneath of your hips. Keep the gaze up. If you're pretty comfortable there, the legs can then extend upwards towards the ceiling. And if everything's okay there, one at a time or both at the same time, if it's in your practice, they can go down over the head into plow. If it's in your practice, you can interlace the hands and extend the arms. If it's possible, 5 to 10 breaths. Don't turn the head either side. Keep it up towards the ceiling. When you're ready to come out, just slowly roll down, using the hands as help. Once you get those feet down to the floor, just lay with them on the floor, feet on the mat, so that your back is flat. You're going to open the arms out with palms facing up. Relax your shoulders, chest, head, and neck. Smooth out your breath. Take a figure four so we can stretch out the hips a little further since we did work on them. I'm going to go left ankle on right thigh first and then thread the needle through. Of course, we can just stay with the foot on the floor. Any variation goes. I'm going to squeeze my knife nice and tight and take a couple little rocks from side to side. And then landing that foot, coming to a nice figure four twist for a couple breaths. Squeeze that leg down. If there's a different twist you'd rather do, yes, of course. Roll back up to center, figure four on the opposite side. Right ankle, left thigh, maybe a few little rocks. Hello, all of Kristen's children. Cute. And if you can get there without the kids, you can go into that figure four twist and enjoy a couple breaths. last little wiggles or stretches you want to get in before we come into Shavasana, if Shavasana is possible for you. Actually, hey, if you've got kids around, this is the best time to try and find that inner peace while you've got little ones around you. All those outer distractions, just let them be outer distractions. You can still find that beautiful space of inner peace, even though the world outside the body is wild. So I invite you to come back to that. Wiggle your body around and get physically comfortable. And then get mentally comfortable. Stay with your breath. Accept what comes up. Let it be. Give yourself so much gratitude for getting to your mat and moving and powering through, and now just soak up all those benefits in whatever way that you can. Of course, if you've got time and you want to stay, you're welcome. If you're ready, wiggle and move and stretch in any way you want to come up into a seated position. But if you're staying too us out, stay where you are. If you're coming up to seated, let's end together with a deep breath in. Reach the arms up, look up, connect the palms, and exhale hands to heart center. Lengthening through the spine and just finding a few more breaths for yourself. It's always such a pleasure. I'm so glad everyone keeps tuning in. It's Friday, right? Yeah. Have an awesome Friday night and such a good weekend. Namaste.